You know, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time. But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress, and now it doesn't.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy. That's me, Jimmy Dore. That's right. I'm the host of the Jimmy Dore Show. Did you know that? We know you're proud to be a fan and a supporter of the show, but do your friends, your family, your neighbors, and random strangers you pass on the street, do they know? Maybe not. And just as you like to keep informed by watching the Jimmy Dore Show, you can inform all those important and not so important people in your life about your love of the show with one of these. Huh? It's the authentic and branded Jimmy Dore Show t-shirts. We've got the classic logo, Jimmy Dore, and we also have the Jimmy Dore Show pop art. Look at that. Look at that. Nice, huh? And we also have one of my favorites. It's the Frederick Douglass quote. I would unite with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong. It's all available now at our website. Just go to jimmydore.com, then shop the merch, and you'll see there and many more options. And just click on mugs. Also, how about mugs? We got the mugs. Made in America. This is one of my favorites. It says "Vaxxed and Worried." Nice. We also have
that'll go over big with the guests. Their friends at the
This
office.
is a great mug. It says "Made in America" on the bottom. Jag-off, very thick, nice handle, thick glass. I love this one. Plus, we have stuff like this over there.
Mouse pad.
Mouse pads. We got your Jimmy Dore Show stickers and logos, and we got your what do you call those?
Coaster.
Coasters. Look at that. Look at this. Coasters, more coasters. So what are you waiting for? Get your Jimmy Dore Show t-shirt, mugs, coasters. Go get them today, jimmydore.com. Hello, everybody. I'm on time. 3:10 and 28 seconds. 29,
Nice.
30. Nice. I'm here with Kurt Mexican, America's comedian. Hi, Kurt.
Good day.
Kurt, how's Austin? How is the?
I just got back.
Oh, okay.
The weather's getting a lot less hot and awful, I'll tell you that. The weather here stinks, dude. In the summer, it's the worst. It's the most humid. You can't go outside like that.
I see it's going to be a high of 88 today in Austin.
Well, that's not as bad as it could be. It could be way worse.
And then
I was just in New York, and it was perfect. New York had the perfect New York weather when I was there.
Oh, just now, you mean?
Yeah, light jacket weather at night. You know?
You like that?
I do after I've been sweating my balls off. Yeah.
How the rats? How the rats? And I can't get over how many rats I saw last time. I was staying in the village, the West Village, and there are fucking rats everywhere, man.
Well, you got to go to the subway if you want to see, like, the prize winners.
I couldn't get. I mean,
the big ones down there.
Because there's some places that have garbage cans now, but there's still places like right next door that'll have 3 bags of garbage because they don't have a garbage can. And so now all the rats are concentrated. So instead, you'd walk by, it'd be like maybe you'd see 1 rat here. Now there's like 5 rats at once.
Man,
You're like, oh shit, they can attack me.
When you see a big one that looks like a small dog, it really is shocking the first time, and then I don't know. New York makes you numb to homelessness and rats. Like you just like glue traps for mice. The cruelest trap there is. If you have a mouse problem, you'll use those traps, and you'll want them to see what you did to the mouse. You want them as an example. It gets so bad. In a place you pay a lot of money for, you'll have a vermin problem of some kind. And like mice is a horrible one. Rats is scary, but usually you don't have that. Although I did live in a place in Washington Heights where they had done some work in the bathroom, they hadn't finished, and my roommate outside, Steve from the cellar, he was taking a shit, and he looked up and he saw a rat looking at him through a hole in the ceiling, and it freaked him out.
I wonder why.
Like, there's so many nightmarish aspects to renting in New York. It costs a lot of money to live, like, not how you think you would be able to live for that amount of money.
I just liked hanging out in the cellar for the one night.
Yeah, that's a fun. I was only there a day, so I didn't. I'm going back next month before Skankfest. So.
Oh, what are you going back for?
I got to do news for women with Chloe for the New York Comedy Festival. We're gonna do a live one. Like
no kidding.
Panel. Yeah.
New York Comedy Festival.
I don't really understand that festival. It always just seemed like you do your club spots, and
but
just put a banner.
There's 80 clubs in Manhattan anyway. Well, I don't understand.
There was the Toyota Comedy Festival, and it was, again, they just put a Toyota banner on the stage, and you did your regular club spots. I didn't know what the festival part was.
Somebody's getting money from an advertiser. That's what it's about, right?
Yeah, it's just somebody's scam.
Well, Chris Keene is also here today. I don't know if Chris Keene's going to be talking. Hi, Chris Keene.
Hello, Jimmy Dore. You look great in your fall colors.
I appreciate it. It's orange.
I
It's for October, Halloween. By the way, it's been a sober October for me since I don't know, since mid-September.
A silver October? Was that
Sober. Sober.
Oh, sober. I think it's silver.
No.
I was like, did you get a great pube or something? What does that mean? It's my silver October.
It's sober. Oh, I went to the Malibu Film Festival yesterday, which ironically it was held in West Hollywood at the Directors Guild. And
An inconvenient study.
An inconvenient study by Del Bigtree and a couple other people. What a great movie! It's really it won the award for best film at the Malibu Film Festival.
What was so inconvenient?
They talked about that study that the Henry Ford Health Services did with one of the leading, virologist guys, and the study showed that vaccinated children had 57% incidence of chronic illness, unvaccinated 17%. And then they wouldn't publish it. And so Del Bigtree had a relationship with this guy. He talked this guy into doing the research. The guy thought the research was going to prove Del Bigtree wrong.
Whoa,
and
that's inconvenient.
So Del Bigtree and Aaron Siri talked this guy into doing this study to prove them wrong. And they asked him, we only have one ask. And one ask is, will you please publish the study no matter how it comes out? And the guy's like, of course, sure. I'm all about data. I'm all about science. So the study came out. The study did not come out. The study was done. Aaron Siri got a hold of the study, and then they won't publish it. And the study showed just what I told you, that unvaccinated kids have way more chronic illness than unvaccinated kids. And the guy wouldn't publish it. So Del Bigtree went to dinner with him, and he brought an undercover camera.
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of that.
And he got the guy to admit, the guy who did the study, got the guy to admit that, the study was robust. It was good. It should be published. He wouldn't change a thing on it if he was going to publish it, but he was not going to publish it because it would be the end of his career. Well,
there's why everything's how it is in the world.
This is the guy who exposed the Flint water stuff. He also, I'm pretty sure, he did a study on hydroxychloroquine, which showed that people who took hydroxychloroquine for COVID had way better outcomes than people who didn't.
Should I use it in my fish tank as well then?
Yeah. And so just like with ivermectin, they made you think it was horse paste. They made you think hydroxychloroquine was fish tank cleaner. And no one's ever going to pay a price for that. And, Fauci just did it. We're going to talk about Fauci later. But
it was very much like Reefer Madness, but way worse.
But way worse.
Yeah, the way they characterize it is some ridiculous exaggeration. That's fish tank cleaner. That's horse paste.
There's people
not even such an obvious exaggeration of anything.
There are comedians I know in Hollywood who still call it horse paste.
In New York, they still think that.
My old roommate calls it horse paste when I was at his house last Christmas.
Well, he's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
They talked about an inconvenient study that at the end of the panel that you hosted, that they talked about we should share this film with other people.
Yes. Oh, we should.
And I'm just curious, people. I'm wondering, is it going to change anybody's mind? This film?
You going to share it with any shit libs that you know?
Yeah.
You did already?
Watch it. I bet they won't.
I bet they won't watch it.
The only reason you don't know the truth is because you're not going to look at it. It's not because it's not available to you, or I didn't yell it in your dumb face.
You should send it to your mom and then have your mom send it to people.
Yes. I'll have her send it to my friends.
I have a friend from New York who is still a firm believer, thinks Fauci did great.
Oh,
isn't it? And it's amazing to me the people in this space who completely missed the COVID story and still won't cover it.
And then pretend it's, let's not go back in the past.
Still won't cover it. They won't cover all the lies Fauci told. They won't cover the biggest lies was that the vaccine stops transmission and contraction, which is why you have to take it to protect your grandma. And though it never did. In fact, it wasn't even tested for that.
Never made any sense, really, the whole narrative, if you look at it now. But I still feel qualified to write a book about how to talk to dumb Christians about their shit. But I never looked into it.
It's a good book. I mean, I like John Fugelsang a lot, actually. I think in his book, he has a lot of positive things. He even says most Christian conservatives he knows are lovely people and more liberal than the liberals he knows. So
most Democrats I know are cunts.
You are.
That's how I talk. Dude, all these fucking Democrats ought to be begging forgiveness from these people, especially after the COVID thing. The COVID thing is so beyond Mengele shit that
it's so beyond
because it included Israel too. Remember, Netanyahu tested the shit out of Israelis first,
and then he's not releasing that data.
Well, he better not.
But it's just amazing to me the people just that they who consider themselves truth tellers will not still ripping on RFK Jr. even though there's about him saying that Tylenol causes autism. Even though Tylenol tells pregnant women don't take it.
Huh? I'll be a person.
I just don't understand people's hatred for RFK Jr. I understand them hating him, hating his position on Israel, which is odious. But every other
that's
thing,
part of him to me. I hate his hatred of Tylenol.
But every other thing, I mean, you finally have a guy in there that Big Pharma is desperate to get rid of, and they still rip him. They won't give him a positive coverage. They won't. Nobody.
Well, I love Big Pharma, Jimmy, because I was raised in an urban environment where my parents sent me to therapy as if it were Catholic confession.
Yeah,
that's the people that you talk. That's all my New York friends. All these people that come from they sent the kid at 4 or 5 to therapy and had him on SSRIs at a shockingly young age.
And again,
they love pharma.
And it turns out Tom Cruise was right about antidepressants. Turns out he was right. That they don't know what they do. That's not how they work. He told Matt Lauer, and everybody thought Tom Cruise was crazy. Tom Cruise turned out to be right.
And Matt Lauer can never work again.
And Matt Lauer's the guy who doesn't have a career. He's got to stay in his Long Island mansion without a helicopter ride to the city.
Poor guy.
He was given a helicopter ride from his house to the NBC studios. A helicopter ride. I think it was like 3 times a week.
That is a pretty great way to get to work.
That is, especially in New York.
I mean, if I could avail myself of something like that in New York when I lived there, I would have. What a nightmare getting where you got to go in New York, especially if you're late like me. Nice and I wish the car could be a helicopter.
Helicopters crash all the time. I know. Bill Burr became a helicopter pilot. I think he got his certification or whatever you call it. Certification, Californication.
Certification, yeah.
But those things, I just saw a video of another one crashing because that back wheel that spins. If you lose that, you're dead.
Yeah, right.
And that's what happened. Oh, I just had a dream. I was on a plane.
Yeah.
And the plane was starting to. I didn't even know we were taking off until the plane was starting to dive. And I was like, oh shit, this again? What are the chances? And I just was like, they put my head down, and then the plane evened out right before it hit the ground.
That's so. Oh, in the dream, it completed with the plane landing safely?
Yeah.
I never finished my dreams like that.
Oof.
I always wake up.
It was rough. And then I had a dream where Sonny Bono was yelling at Steph. He was sitting at a table. We're in some retirement home, and he's sitting at a table with these other 3 famous people. I don't know who they were. And he's looking at Steph, and he's like, and I just took my napkin, rolled it up, and I threw it in his mouth.
This is an incredibly detailed dream.
Yeah, I have lots of good dreams. I'm a good dreamer.
Jimmy, I just wanted to say about this is what AI Overview on Google says about helicopters. This is the first statement. Helicopters are not inherently unsafe.
But
hold on.
But outherently they are.
So, but they do have a higher accident rate compared to commercial airplanes, largely due to the factor like pilot air maintenance and more complex mechanical systems.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get in a helicopter again. I got in a helicopter.
Do the Kauai coast where you take the helicopter. Well, the guy's not in business no more.
I almost did that when we were in Hawaii. I was like, hey, why don't we take a helicopter right around the island?
Marin did it. He's the one who recommended it. He said, if you got the balls to take the helicopter, because the guy was going under like an archway. That's where they shot King Kong. He was doing very inherently dangerous things.
Who did
which
this?
I didn't have the balls for. I took the raft, the motor power boat.
I don't like going in the ocean. I don't mind going on Waikiki Beach because it's shallow and you can see, and there's a lot of people that get eaten by a shark before you. But
dash against the volcanic rock. The beaches are dangerous there. A lot of them.
Hey, we don't have a link yet, but we're gonna be January 11th. We're gonna be at the Blue Note in Waikiki.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's.
Who books that?
The people at the Blue Note.
Oh man, I want to play Waikiki.
It's a really pretty room. I used to play Hawaiian Brian's, and
Hawaiian Brian's tons of fun.
Tons of fun at Hawaiian Brian's.
But they never have
there's no bathroom.
No bathroom for
the performers. There's no bathroom, and there's
so
just
you gotta go mingle.
So you gotta go, and it's impossible. I can't go to the bathroom. It takes me a half hour just to get back.
Yeah, you take a shit before the show, and then you have to deal with the crowd.
So, hey, NBC News went down to the border to see how Donald Trump's border control is working. And this is going to shock you. Spoiler alert, NBC News does an accurate report.
Is somebody sick?
I think so. At first, I thought it was CBS News. I swear to God, I thought it was CBS News because Barry Weiss is now in control of CBS News.
Finally got real journalism, so you figured there.
Yeah. So here, let's listen to the report. Here we go. Liberals open the spigots on the box wine because here we go.
Trump says he secured the border.
Nobody's coming into our country now. We have the border totally stopped.
We're here in Texas to see what those changes look like on the ground.
We've got the most controlled border we've ever had in the history, and in my lifetime in the Border Patrol, and we're going to continue getting there.
In Eagle Pass, Texas, during the Biden administration, more than 2,000 migrants crossed into the U.S. in a single day. But now, under President Trump's policies, officers encounter just 20 migrants a day here.
So the last time I was in Eagle Pass was 2 years ago, almost to the date, and I saw more migrants crossing at a single point in one day than I had in, at that point, 9 years of covering immigration. They were cutting through this barbed wire here and coming across the Rio Grande, sometimes with parents holding their children on their backs as they crossed the water. We saw a lot of rescues. We saw people bleeding as they came under this barbed wire right here. And then we saw hundreds gather under a bridge. They were taken in, processed, and then released either to ICE or elsewhere to pursue their asylum claims. Now it's a total change.
People aren't taking that risk to come across because the end of catch and release is a deterrent in itself. And then with the level of prosecutions we're doing for smugglers and for those entering the country illegally, you add that added deterrence.
We've been out here half the day now, haven't seen a soul. We patrolled the river, haven't seen anyone there either. What we're seeing and what we're hearing from the Border Patrol chief and the agents on the ground here is that anyone who crosses now is arrested, prosecuted, and turned back over into Mexico. You simply cannot cross through here anymore and claim asylum, no matter what your claim is.
So, how dare Donald Trump protect the borders of a place we call home when he should be protecting the borders of Ukraine? Am I wrong?
I mean, I think it's amazing that this is like an unusual event. You would think it's just because there's basic laws.
This should be normal. This should be this should how it should be normal.
It should be an achievement, is what I'm saying. Much like if you can have a little bit of free speech. I'm not grateful that I can say a few more boo-boo words now and still, you know what I mean? Like, that's just normal shit. You're supposed to have a border.
So I asked Grok, I said, has illegal immigration stopped at the U.S.-Mexican border? Grok says, no, illegal immigration has not stopped at the U.S.-Mexico border, but it has plummeted to historic lows in 2025, reaching levels not seen since the early 70s.
Is that Ford? Was that the Ford administration?
That early 70s, that would be Nixon and Ford. Ford was, CIA man. Turns out every president is a CIA man since JFK.
Of course.
In case you didn't know.
When they took over the whole country,
and so I asked Grok, why is the decline? Grok says the drop began in late 2024 under the Biden administration. For example, Mexico's crackdown on migrant routes and the U.S. asylum restrictions, but accelerated dramatically after President Trump's inauguration in January 2025. Here's why. Stricter enforcement, deployment of additional troops, 7,600 from the Army's 101st Airborne. I didn't know that. Expanded ICE arrest and suspension of asylum claims at the border. Deportations, over 135,000 deportations in the first 100 days of 2025. That sounds like a lot, but I don't think that's a lot. Right? Because didn't Barack Obama deport 3 million people?
I think you're right.
Yeah, most was without due process.
And most of them were...
It's after you already had Biden in. So their deterrent was Kamala saying, don't come.
Yeah.
Okay? And so it's not high. It's high numbers for what there was 4 years ago,
What is the catch and release? So
they say, according to AI, it says 2.7 million people.
Yeah, but what is the catch and release program that no longer... So so if they caught you, they would just release you? I don't know. So they would catch you?
Yeah, they've been doing that with a bunch of people. They did. The drug dealers next door, they arrested, they let them out the next day. And that goes back to BLM when they got rid of bail and all that.
So a deterrence effect, migrants and smugglers have received clear messages via social media and networks that crossing will lead to swift arrest and removal, reducing attempts. So people aren't even trying to come across. It's not like they're trying to come across and they're catching them. It's like the word is out. So the word was out during the Biden administration that it's open borders. Come on in.
They watch those clips we watch.
Catch and release is the practice of releasing certain apprehended immigrants while they wait their immigration court hearings rather than detaining them indefinitely.
Oh, okay. So instead of detaining them, they would catch them and let them go into the United States.
And then recent policy shifts in 2025 have sought to end or curtail catch and release by emphasizing detention and other enforcement measures.
Okay.
ICE would just hold them up like a big trout and then let them go. They got a fat bass.
And you can't say that Joe Biden did the same thing because he had no idea what his auto pen was signing. Also, Mexican cooperation, increased Mexican patrols and seizures. For example, life jackets and rafts have prevented crossing. So I don't understand. Increased Mexican patrols and seizures, for example, life jackets and rafts. What does that mean?
So, I think the Mexican officials on the other side are helping prevent
so they're
crossings.
Not giving them life rafts?
Sounds that way.
And life jackets and rafts anymore? Oh, okay. Also, so has it truly stopped? Well, apprehensions are at a 50-plus year low. For example, fewer than 9,000 per month under Trump versus 250,000 under Biden.
Oh, wow.
What does that mean? 250,000 plus days under Biden. What does that mean? Do you know what that means? So 9,000 per month under Trump, I get it, versus peaks of 250,000 a day.
Every some days they had over 250,000.
No kidding.
We knew that. We saw the video of them bum rushing the border. And Abbott down here, this dumb creep, remember that fight about he put up razor wire and Biden said take it down? That was one little section of the border. So there's plenty of room on either side for everybody to keep coming in. That was all theater.
So they're not zero, but experts note that some gotaways, undetected crossings, still occur, though estimates suggest they've dropped 93%. So he didn't build the wall, and he's able to do this, which means that Joe Biden was able to do this, which means that this was on purpose, as I've said all along. This is on purpose to flood the country with people who enter illegally. And what's that about? Well, a lot of the Republicans say it's so that they can get them voting.
Well, that too, but also the military, also low wages.
I think
a lot of benefits.
I think the military. I think there was two big things. It was suppress wages of American workers and our military. I mean,
well, they said it.
Dick Durbin said it right on the floor of the Senate. We need them to come here because we can't meet our recruiting goals anymore in the military.
Our in-grade citizens don't want to go die at face down in Sandyland no more. Imagine that, Jimmy.
So it's not. So it was smart of Trump to drop the rhetoric about the wall, because that's something people for some reason or another rallied against, the wall. And well, it's also the wall's not a good idea for lots of reasons, but one of them is it's not good for the wildlife. That's one thing. But he did it without a wall, so this was doable all along. This was doable. And so Mirthful Moments tweets out, the United States under Biden, see, there's no border here, and the United States under Trump, and there's a border. But my shitlib friends will say this is better because it's on top.
It took me a while to notice the missing line with the border myself. In fairness to your dumbass friends.
Here's a guy with a cowboy hat and a uniform. He's going to tell you how much we spent on illegal crossings.
The numbers were they had spent in 1 year roughly $246 billion on welfare and assistance to all the immigrants that they let across in 1 year. Now, when you put it on a local perspective for Yuma, so Border Patrol had to put up tents to be able to house them.
Okay.
Those tents had to contain not only a place for them to sleep, but it also had to have a laundry facility. It also had to have a cafeteria so they could cook the food for everybody. And they also had to have storage to be able to outfit them with clothing. So Border Patrol was spending tax dollars buying anything from baby food and diapers on up to clothing for adults for them to wear. Now, when they looked at the contract price, just here in Yuma, we were one of 7 locations along the border that Border Patrol had to have these tent facilities, right? Those tents, each tent was $500,000 a day, taxpayer funded for that tent.
Wait, how is a tent $500,000 a day?
Because it's through a contractor. And that contractor has to provide the employees to be able to maintain that tent and the facilities within it, as well as all the other intricacies.
How many people under a tent?
Yeah. You'd have to ask Hector on that.
Okay.
You know,
that's wild.
When you think about it, when they were apprehending almost 1,500 individuals a day, that tent had to hold all those people and the kids. Now, unaccompanied kids, that's even worse, because then you have to have them out of sight and sound and housed separately from the adults, right? So $500,000 a day per tent. They had, I believe, 5 tents here in Yuma sector. So, and because the electrical grid at Border Patrol could not handle the power that was needed to run those, they had to run that facility on generators, which was over $100,000 a week in diesel fuel. So
it doesn't end.
So when you look at all these numbers, we don't spend that kind of money for our veterans, and why not? 3 years.
So it is kind of amazing, but it's no news that the government doesn't care about our veterans. That's why we keep coming up with new wars to throw them into.
I mean, going back to the World War I, the Smedley Butler March, where they rolled tanks over veterans.
That's right.
Where they cheated all the veterans of World War I.
That was the waste. What was that called? Something. There was a name for that. Recent law. So this is just from Chicago, because I'm from Chicago, and I found out that from a guy running for mayor right now. So in Chicago, they're out of money. They're over $1 billion in debt as a city, and so they closed down schools in poor black neighborhoods. And then when the illegal immigrants showed up, they put them in schools that they had closed down, and then they had used $700 million they gave to a private company to run those shelters, schools, where all the illegal immigrants were in Chicago. 700. So I was like, I went and checked that number, and all I could come up with was from June of 2024, a recent lawsuit sheds light on how Chicago migrant funds are being spent. The last figures from the City of Chicago spending dashboard shows the city has spent more than $400 million in just 2 years. So from 2022 to 2024, they spent $400 million, the bulk of that money going to private companies that helped forge lease agreements or provided staffing for migrant shelters. NBC News, Bennett. So that's from NBC News. It's just, and so the people in Chicago are pulling their hair out of their heads because they've been paying taxes their whole life, and they see the city shutting down schools in their neighborhoods. And then as soon as people who aren't even citizens here show up en masse, they pull $700 million out of their ass and hand it to a private company to take care of people who aren't even citizens.
You know, your book title was great, Jimmy. I think about it a lot when
Your
I see
country's
this shit.
just not that into you?
I mean, I would take it a step further. Your country actively hates you.
Yeah. Maybe that should be my next book.
No, yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's such a great title because it really is. You could take Greg Barron's dating advice and apply it to America.
Yeah.
Like, do you think your country likes you? Like, this is how you get treated.
Anyway, nice job by NBC. Again, this doesn't mean that I'm down with the over-militarized ICE raids. That doesn't mean that. And I think those over-militarized ICE raids are happening on purpose to create a backlash so then they can expand the surveillance state.
Oh, what a benefit, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, on the border, the local law enforcement is probably cooperating because it's extremely harmful to their towns.
Yeah, the people,
okay?
that's right.
But in Chicago, they're doing it on purpose. In fact, I can't help but think of those leaked Hillary emails where they talked about Obama using taxpayer money to get $60,000 worth of
hot dogs?
pizza and hot dogs from Chicago, a place where illegals are welcome. So everything's human trafficking to me with this. That's what this is.
Okay, so turns out it was doable to have a border all along. And,
I suspected.
And the people who run the country, meaning the billionaire class, didn't want it. And so now that I think they must have enough cheap labor in the country, and they must have met their recruiting goals that the billionaires are letting Donald Trump do this. That's what I think.
It's okay.
Because believe me, Donald Trump does what his donors tell him.
He has no choice. He was going to go. Remember, the walls were closing in?
That's right. The walls were closing in. Okay. And if you want to hear my jokes about this, come see me in Irvine, October 19th. That's this Sunday. Coming up this Sunday. We're going to be in Irvine. See you in Irvine. And then Australia, and then Burbank the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday. Everybody is off that day. And then we'll be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania on December 6th. Hey, we'll also see you January 11th in Hawaii. So make your plans. You're thinking of going to Hawaii this year? Go this year. We're going to be at the Blue Note in Waikiki. It's a classy joint is what they say. Classy. See you there. All right, over to stuff.
Okay, I just wanted to show you this
That's a great T-shirt. Somebody gave that to us.
Daniel gave it to us.
Daniel gave it to us in San Francisco. Do you see it, Kurt?
See it.
Read it, Jimmy.
It says, you don't get in trouble for telling lies. You get in trouble for telling the truth.
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore.
That's why people lie.
What's that?
That's why people lie. That's why I used to fake my grades when I come over. I got my report card and simulate the dot matrix printer and change my grades.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
And I also didn't want to do homework.
I think 2 years ago that somebody, I used to work in Glendale School District, and somebody hacked into the school district's websites, and it was right around grades, when grades had to go out at the end of the year, and they wanted $2 million in crypto.
What?
Yeah, because you can, I guess crypto is, you can't trace it where it's going.
Why would they be smart enough to know to ask for crypto, but
just $2 million? I would think, why wouldn't you ask for more than $2 million?
You think the school district gives a shit like that they're going to pay you? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Look up LAPAM, Israel Government Advertising Agency, which is spreading pro-Israel propaganda ads on Rumble. Interesting. And that's from Brian.
It's working really well, too. People love Israel more than ever.
Savage says 15 million illegal immigrants are still in the USA. B-Man, I didn't hear one of them, so-called later last night, use the word Palestine or Palestinian. B-Man, you're back. Hold on, B-Man. The only way there can be peace in Palestine is if they go back to 1945 borders. Am I right? Thank you for that one.
Well, maybe, but maybe they don't want peace.
Fret Pound, hella bummed. I couldn't make it back to Indiana for the Fort Wayne show. Maybe next time. Yes, Fret Pound, maybe next time. Okay. May the force be with you, Jimmy. Joyous. Thank you, Joyous. Eva Dawn. Thank you, Eva Dawn. This is the best birthday present I got. Thanks, Jimmy. And that is from Jennifer.
What's the best present?
I think you being here today.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Happy birthday.
Back to Jimmy.